Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for the short-term training program on Python for engineers. And it's always a pleasure for me and an honor to represent the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, NIT Nagaland. Today, before starting the session, let me clarify the doubt which is raised by one of the participants, Gokul Krishna. The doubt was, let me share the screen. Let me show the screen, and I believe that I am very much audible and you are able to watch my screen. So am I audible and are you able to see my screen? So one of the doubt raised was when the three single quotes are treated as comments in Python, how come we used the three single quotes, or even you can use three double quotes. Okay, so to make you understand, let me just remove this. If you are doing, means if you are writing any line with three single quotes and ends with three single quotes, definitely it is called as a multi-line comment. But in Python, you can actually write multi-line input also by using the same single quotes, that consecutive three single quotes in the beginning and the ending. Then what it will become? It will become an input as a multi-line. That's why you can see here, my insert query equal to, it is not directly starting with three single quotes. Rather, we are actually storing that into one string. So basically, here if you print my insert query, the entire query will be printed. Suppose if you really want to know the impact of this line, okay, I'll do one thing. Let me just create a small line like multi-line input.py. Let me just copy the insert query. It need not be an insert query. It can be anything. It can be anything in multi-line. Just because the question was raised because of the insert query, I am taking the same, and let us try to execute and print it and see what exactly is this my insert query all about. See, so my insert query is nothing but the query in multiple lines, And if you really want to know, you can also know the type of it. It's just a string. I hope I have answered the query raised by Mr. Gokul Krishna. So, three single quotes can also be used for giving multi-line input in Python. Let me come to the chat box and see whether the doubt is clarified. Can I proceed further? Okay, so the student has responded that the doubt is clarified. Now, today's topic is communicating with the database through our file. So today what we are going to learn, we are going to learn exclusively two different topics. Let me show you topics for the day. Take a CSV file which contains 5,000 student records, and through a Python program, we will load the CSV file into the database. That is the first task that we are going to do. We are going to load the contents of a CSV file into a database. Second, imagine we have data in a DB table. We will now, or we will try to extract data from the DB table and do the following. What we will do, we can also display on the screen, means we are reading the contents from the DB table and displaying on the screen. Or we can also do create a file from the DB table. That means if there is a database table, we will extract the contents and display on the screen. That is one thing. Second level is we can create a file from the database table contents. That is exactly the inverse operation of point number 1. You can say inverse operation of point 1. Then another one, what we will do is perform some analysis on the data stored in the DB table, and either we can display or create a file from the analysis done. What exactly is this? When I am explaining you, I will let you know. What I mean to say, for example, let me give a clarification here. For example, from the students data table, we will try to find the number of students in each department. This is an analysis. Or how many male students are there, etc. This is the analysis that we are going to do. Now let me know whether you are able to understand the topics that we are going to learn today. Basically, it is nothing but the file management and the database connectivity bringing together to form such kind of case study. Loading a file into a DB table and then DB table to a screen or a file, right? So I believe that you guys are able to understand the topics that we are going to learn today. Now let me clear the screen and then come to the chat box and check. Okay, there are no doubts raised as of now. Now let us try to do the first task. That is, we have a CSV file. See, there are three CSV files, four CSV files. Among that, I think I can delete these two, which is not required. Now, let me just type how many CSV files are there. One CSV file has 3 records. This is actually created by us day before yesterday. In another directory, file management, we have created 3 students data set for the sake of reading the CSV. If you remember, I have copied that into this directory. And today, just before the session, basically after the session started, you can see the date and time. I created 5,000 students data. For example, if you really want to know, you can type CIET students.csv so that it will open, and clearly you can see that there are 5,000 student records. We are going to load these students data. If you can see, the last record is 5,001 row, 5,000 student records are there. We are going to load these 5,000 records into the database table. Before loading 5,000 rows into the database table, I would like to explain the program with 3 records. I will not load, but for the sake of understanding the program, I am going to use this another CSV. What is that CSV? 3 records data set. Only 3 records will be there. Only 3 records. Okay. So to explain the program, I will use the 3 records data set, and once the program is well understood by everybody, then I am going to execute the program with another CSV file which has 5,000 records. Okay. Let us open the program. Load CSV file into DB table. This is the program that we are going to use for task number 1 or the topic 1. Here, you need to majorly understand only 2 things. Line number 18 to 22. After that, you need to understand lines 25 to 35. So hardly 10 lines of code you need to understand. If you can understand these 10 lines of code, okay, forget about the length of the program. The logic is very, very simple. Okay, so before going into the program, let me use the 3 students record. Let me use the 3 students CSV file. 3 records student data set. So one of the participant is asking me a doubt, Tejashwini, that you are able to execute the program, but only header row is there. I don't know which program you have executed, Tejashwini. Can you please post your query in the WhatsApp group so that I can clarify the doubts in the WhatsApp group offline? Okay, fine. And I request everybody, do not send chat responses privately. Please send it to everybody. Nobody is going to scold you. Nobody is going to offend you here. We are all here to learn something together. Okay. Now, I would like to ask one small doubt from yesterday's program. In the end of the session yesterday, even I did mention that how many insert queries we have written for entering 3 records. For entering 3 records, we have written 3 insert queries, and 3 times we called the execute method. Just imagine, in this way, if you write a program to insert the data for 5,000 records, how many times you have to write the insert query and execute? 5,000 times, which is really impractical and inefficient way of writing a program. So In case if your data is minute in nature, you can write multiple queries and you can execute the program. But in case if you are having more values to insert, I suggest everybody to keep those values in a file and use the logic which I am going to explain you right now. Okay, now let us begin understanding the program. I think everybody will understand the packages that we are going to import. Okay, import necessary packages. Now, next line number 5 and 6. Reading the CSV file from user. Reading the CSV file from user. What CSV file? The CSV file which contains the data. The CSV file which contains the data to be loaded in the DB table. To be loaded in the DB table. I believe everybody has understood line number 5 and line number 6. Now what is line number 8? Line number 8 is pretty much simple. We are trying to connect to the database. We are trying to connect to the database. We are trying to connect to the database. Now, after that, we are trying to verify, for example, my file. One second. We are searching whether the file is available or not. How we are searching? We are searching from os.path.is file. os.path.is file will give true if the file is available. Otherwise, it will return false. So I believe everybody understood line number 10 and 11. After line number 10 and 11, what we are going to do is, imagine this is the case study for loading the data from the CSV file into the database table. So first of all, we need to create a table for which you want to load the data. So for that purpose, I am calling the cursor. Okay. Creating the cursor object. Calling the method cursor. Yesterday I already explained you. First thing is you need to create the connection. You will get a connect object. From the DB connect object, you need to create a cursor object. What is a cursor object? Basically, it will allow you to write and execute your queries. Through that cursor object, everybody please observe, I am creating a table. Create a table if not exists, CAET students. So this is the table that I am going to create. What is the table? The table will have exactly the same number of columns like the CSV header. Okay. Our registration number. See, there is a data type called as big int. There is a data type called as big int. What is big int? See, in case if your registration number is a 10 length integer number, then you need to use big int. If it is a small one, you can simply use integer. So to make you understand that there is another data type, I just wrote big int. If the number is, imagine it is a 10 length, then you need to use big int. So that is about registration number, student name, student gender, student department, student CGPA. Now student CGPA is a floating point number. So how to define the data type? Float 4, 2. what is 4 and what is 2? The maximum CGPA is 10.00. So total 4 digits, and after the decimal point 2 digits, 10.00, total 4.00. That is what? Float of 4, 2. Then email ID, and the contact number is also a big integer. Contact number is also a big integer. So we are creating the table with exactly the number of columns that are available in the CSV file. You can keep the same column name or you can give a different column name, but you need to use the exact number of columns. Suppose if CSV file has 7 columns, here also you need to create the 7. Otherwise, it will not be able to create the, or you will not be able to load the data properly. I hope everybody understood line number 15 and 16. Line number 15 and 16. Is there any doubt? Please let me know. Let me come to the chat box and see in case if there is any doubt. So I am waiting in the chat box. In case if you have any doubt, please raise there. Otherwise, we will continue. So till here, it's very normal program like yesterday, like importing the packages, asking the CSV file name, verifying the file name, connecting to the database, then creating a cursor, writing a query, and executing the create table query. Okay. So that if you have no doubts, you can also respond that there is no doubt. No response is there, so I got a doubt whether I am able to. Yeah, now I am getting a response. Okay, thank you. Sometimes I will get a doubt whether I am disconnected from the network or when I am audible or not. Now, the main logic that you need to understand is line number 18 to 22 and 25 to rest of the program. Now let us try to understand what is line number 18 to 22 is doing here. One of the participant is asking, instead of big int, can we use long integer? So I am unaware of long integer availability in MySQL, Chandrasekhar. So you can also go and verify. I think big integer is there. I am really not sure whether long integer is there or not. Okay. So now what we are doing in line number 18 to 22. What we are doing from line number 18 to 22. To explain line number 18 to 22, let me copy, okay, and create a small program. For example, NPP display contents display CSV file contents.py. I am writing another program to explain you only that 18 to 25. Let me I think CSV, we will remove all these things directly. Yeah, this is exactly line number 18 to 22. Now, print after the for loop, print records. This print is not available in the program, but anyways, now I want to open the exact CSV file. For example, the CSV file name is Let me use 3 records data set now, which has 3 records. 3 records dataset dot CSV. Okay, directly I am opening the CSV file, 3 records CSV file in a read mode, and then everybody please observe, while reading the CSV file contents, we did use the dictionary reader. We did use the dictionary reader. What dictionary reader has done? It creates a dictionary. For example, I think a day before yesterday, I already explained this logic. Registration number 1, comma, name, Ajay, comma, etc. Like this, it will create the dictionary from the CSV file contents. In this manner, dictionary reader will create. Okay. Now, what is line number 2? Line number 2 says, take an empty list. Empty list. Why we are taking a list, I will explain. Now, line number 3 is open the CSV file in read mode. Open the CSV file in read mode. After opening the CSV file, we are going to get a file object. File object. In a simple way, we will write file object. What is the file object? File object is the file stream object which got permission to open 3 records dataset.csv in a read mode. So we are using dictionary reader class and we are trying to get the complete dictionary of the records. Now, after, so reader is nothing but a dictionary with all the records. Here, reader will have a dictionary of each record with key colon value pair. I hope everybody understood. This is a old line only. This is a line which we already know. Now, after that, what I am doing in the loop is I am taking every record and I am appending to the list. For line in reader, that means for each record, you instead of line, you can say for each record in reader, you can also change the name of the variables what you are using, which makes more sense. For each record in reader, okay, records dot append. That means every dictionary will be added to a list. Every dictionary record will be added to a list. Now, let me execute the program and then I will show you again what exactly these print records will do. Let me come here. For this purpose only, I am using a small CSV file which consists of 3 records. Everybody, please observe carefully. I am opening the 3 records dataset for you in an Excel file also. This is actual CSV file. What my program has done. What my program is actually doing, let me show you. One second. Yeah, I think this is better. Everybody, please try to understand. It has created a list. First of all, where is the list? Let me show you in the output. Please observe the output carefully. This is a list. I hope everybody understood. The marked places, a list of records. What is this list having? the list has each record as a dictionary. Whether you observed it or not, let me show you that. Exactly where is this dictionary from the output? See here, there is a curly brace, is it not? And it has ended here. It is continuing. See, because of the font size, you can see the record broken into 2 lines. I believe everybody is able to understand. This is where it is ended. This is the first student. This is the first student, Pamela Alvarez. Then the Lawrence and Thomas records are starting. So we are reading the CSV file in terms of a dictionary and appending them into a list. Why we need to add to a list, I will tell you now in the next part of the program. Tell me in case if you have any doubt here. In this logic, if you have any doubt, you please let me know. Let me come to the chat box and see in case if there is any doubt. Append is used in lists or any other data structures. I think append is used in list. You please verify, Akash. I have given a tutorial to you. In the tutorial, you can also verify whether append is available for other data structures or not. Okay. Any other doubt? If you have, please let me know, participants. So we are creating a list of records in terms of dictionary. Every record is a dictionary here. Every element, basically, every element in the list is a dictionary which has key and value, key value pair. Okay. So let me clear all the drawings. And let me close the CSV or minimize the CSV file. If required, I will open again. Now, what we are going to do in the next piece of code. So let me also copy the next piece of code for you and write it here itself. So after one second. Now, after the list has been created, what I am trying to do, how many records are there? There are 3 records. There are 3 records. See here. This is the first record in index 0. Everybody remember, because this is a list, index starts with 0. Then this is the next record. The next record is registration number 2. If I decrease the font, you can also clearly see. And this is the registration number 3, that is record in index 2. So because we have 3 records, I am starting the range from 0, 3. For 3 records, right? We need to use index, or you can say loop starts with 0 and ends at 2, because range is n-1. Now, what is records? Records is a list. You can also say records list. I think this makes more sense. Records list. Then print records list. From the records list, we are trying to extract each value depending upon the key. Everybody please observe the line number 10. Column 1 equal to, you can also write x equal to y equal to. Okay, column 1 means the value in the column 1. That's what I mean to do. Okay, that is records list of I. What is I? I starts with 0. That means the records first index 0. Extract the value which has the key registration number. Which has the key registration number. What we are doing, trying to do here is, see here, from the program, we have a list. Now, I want only one because you don't want the tag registration number. You don't want the tag registration number. Why we don't want? Because our task is to load the data into the table. For loading the data into the table, I don't want the registration number key, but I want the value of that. For that purpose, we are trying to obtain the value in the records list index 0 with the key registration number. So here 1 will come when index is 0. Then Pamela, which is the record. Like that, one by one value will come for each and every key. There are 7 keys here. I hope everybody understood. So I am simply printing these values. Now let me execute and show you the output of this code. I am actually dividing the code into part by part and I am explaining. Let me execute the program. Everybody, you can clearly notice that first is a list of records in the form of database dictionary. Everybody, please notice this is at first step. We created a list of records from the CSV file in the form of a dictionary. In the form of a dictionary as key value pairs. That is the first step. What is the next step? Basically, this is the first step. Okay, in that particular code. Then the next piece of code, this one, here you can clearly see that we are trying to extract the values. In second step, we are trying to extract the values. We are extracting the values based on keys. I believe everybody understood. Now, this column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column 6, column 7 are the values that you need to load into the database table. These are the values. See, when I am giving print column 1, that line number 17. Line number 17 is printing these values. I believe everybody is able to understand. In line number 17, we are trying to print the values. See, instead of printing, we will use the insert query. Instead of printing, we will use the insert query and insert these values into the database. Tell me if you have any doubt till this point of program. If you understand this, there is only one line that you need to understand, that is how to write the insert query with these column values. How to write the insert query with these column 1 to column 7. Let me know if you have any doubt. Okay, thank you, Rahul. Let me wait for other response also. Any more doubts? Okay, now I can see many responses that there is no doubt. Thank you all the participants. Now let us see our main program. See, I could have explained directly here, okay, but I would like to change the values here because I am going to load the file which has 5,000 records. That's why I kept it as 5,000. If you have 3,000, so simple. $5,000 is because we are having a CSV file with 5,000 records. If you have 10,000 records, then you need to give 10,000 here. I believe everybody will agree with me on this. Now, I am removing the print, or I can keep a comment. Why to comment? Because I am going to have 5,000 records. I don't want 5,000 records to be printed on the screen. So I have commented it out. Now, the only thing what you need to understand is the insert query. Let me copy the insert query. Let me copy the insert query and try to display on the screen with an annotation, and I will explain. I don't know whether it will be copied into the annotation. Let me check. Oh, it has come. This is the insert query. Okay. Let me break it into different lines. You know, insert into, for example, my table name is CAET students. Imagine that is the table. Insert into table. What are the columns? These are the columns. Oh, sorry. I have done a small mistake. Just hold on, guys. 1 second. Let me CAET students is the table. Okay. So my insert query is insert into CAET students. Then okay, we have to give the column values. No, student name, registration number, student name, student gender, student department, email ID, contact number. Then see here, values. What are the values? See, in case if the values are, for example, 1001, Ajay, male, CSC department, 9.87, etc., etc. But we don't have the value directly. The values are available in some variables. The values are available in the variables. So we need to use a formatted input. We need to use a formatted input. For example, in this manner, the values are percentages kind of strings. Okay, then you need to give a percent. This is called as a formatted input. This is called as a formatted input in Python. Basically, try to understand. This is a normal query. Insert query equal to insert into table name. These are the column names, values. Instead of directly giving the values, what we are trying to do is give, there are 7 values, so 7 percentages. After that, you need to give in this manner, percentage, column 1, comma, column 2, comma, column 3, like that. Then what will happen? The value of column 1, for example, column 1 is roll number 1. So that one will be going here. Suppose if column 2 is Pamela in our data set or Ajay, then Ajay will go. Everything will go as a string and it will be loaded into the database. When you are giving the insert query, you are passing it everything as a string. Finally, it will store in the database. It will store in the database. So I believe everybody understood the query what I have written here. It is called as a formatted query. It is called as a formatted query. So if you have any doubt, you please let me know. See, that is a syntax. The syntax is little lengthy, but I think it will be easily understood. See, insert into table all the column names followed by values as strings. Keep a percentage and give those variable names. So these variables name will be replaced in that particular percentage yes. Now, after writing the insert query, we are executing the insert query. We are executing the insert query. We are executing the insert query. After that, program is having else. What is this else? Else is, see here, if file is not available, imagine you are giving a CSV file, but that CSV itself is not available. Then what you will do? You cannot create any data in a table, right? You cannot insert any values. So for that, if this is the else the CSV file is not available. I think my file. So after that, commit for saving the contents permanently in the database table and then close the connection. Now tell me, in case if you have any doubt in this program, before I execute, let me come to the chat box and ask in case if there is any doubt. Let me know in case if there is any doubt. Otherwise, we will proceed further and try to execute. And make sure before you execute, you need to make sure that the database is up and running. The database is up and running. Yes, it is up and running. Then you can also launch the MySQL admin directly from here and check whether how many tables are available, whether this table is already created or it is not. Ideally, this table should not be there because I have not executed the program. So before it loads, let me come to the chat box. Participants, kindly respond in case if you have any doubts, or shall I proceed further to execute the program? Now you can clearly see in my database server, there is a CIET-workshop database. In that database, there is only one table. There is only one table. Only one faculty table is present in the CIET workshop database. Before executing a program which loads the CSV file contents to the DB table. So this is the proof that in CIET workshop, I have only one table. So let me come to the chat box and see in case if there is any doubt. Okay, nobody has responded in the chat till now. So I believe I am very much audible to all the participants. And let me, okay, now I think some people are responding. Okay. Thank you, Seshasai, for responding. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Akash. Let us proceed further and execute the program now. Let me execute the program. I believe there may not be any syntactical errors. The CSV file, which has 5,000 records, is CIET students.csv. So py load database, load CSV file to DB table program. Now it will ask a CSV file name. I am giving the CSV file where it has 5,000 records. See here, before executing, I have only one table. So immediately, I think, yes, I understood that there is a small mistake in between. I changed the variable names. So consistently, I might not have. Okay, this is my file. Okay, I think rest all are fine. Yeah, sorry guys, I actually changed the earlier program variable name to my file and I forgot to update here. So don't worry, if you want to make sure, you can come to the database admin and see that there is only one table. Oh, now the table is created. Why the table is created? The table is created because, everybody please observe, I got error in line number 19, but in line number 15 itself, the table is created. So to have a good flow, let me drop the table. I hope everybody understood. So to drop a table, the command is drop table name. I can directly write in this particular SQL, and if I click go, I can delete the table. Don't get confused why the table is created when the program is unsuccessful. Program is having an issue in line number 19, but in line number 15 itself, there is a table creation query. That's why it got created. Now come back. Now you see there is only one table. There is only one table. So let me execute the program again and give the file name. Now you can see that the program is being executed, and within 1 minute, the program has come out also. Okay. The program is successful. So let us check the DB admin. Let us check the DB admin now. Come here, click on this. Now you see clearly from the program, we are able to create a table. From the program, I created a table and it also had 5,000 rows. What is the, how we know 5,000 rows are there? Clearly, you can see from here, 5,000 rows are there. Now, in case if you have any doubt, we can simply come here and click on the CIET students. It will not display all the 5,000 at a time. Number of rows is equal to 25. So if you want 500, you can also verify. All the data is available. And it is clearly showing, it is showing the first 25 out of the total 5,000. Where I am reading this message, let me highlight for you. Let me highlight for you here. You can see the number of rows displayed is only 25, and you can clearly see the number of rows. All the data is available and it has been loaded into the database table. So we have finished the first part of the day, that is having a CSV file and loading the CSV file contents into the database table. So in case if you have any doubt, you can also raise your queries in the chat box. Otherwise, we will take a couple of minutes short break and we will resume the session again. Let me check in case if there is any doubt with the participants. Otherwise, now the time is 5:05. Let us resume the session at 5:08. Yeah. We'll take a couple of minutes break. Okay, let us resume our session now. And I believe that there is no doubt in the topic which is explained just now. The next topic that we are going to learn is, in case if you have data in a database table, can we extract the data from the database table by making use of a Python program, and either we can display on the screen or we can even write it in a file. So that is exactly the inverse operation of what we have performed just now. So I believe that I am very much audible to you all, and you are able to still watch my screen after the short break. Now, let me open one program. By making use of another program, we will try to understand how we can actually extract data from the database. Okay, so here there are two programs. Here there are two programs. You can see that another piece of code is actually commented. So let us learn the program one by one. Let us learn the program one by one. Now, before explaining this program, let me also explain you a concept called as extracting data from the database by writing a query. So to explain that, let me go to the, everybody please make sure what I am doing, you are able to follow. See, there is one menu item called as SQL. See, this is a place where you can actually execute some queries. Okay, if you are unaware of exactly where you need to go, first go to the CAET workshop database. After that, click on SQL. Let me just take one small screenshot so that everybody will get a clarity where you need to click. Click on SQL to write any query and execute from the DB admin. Okay. Fine. So let me click the SQL. For example, if you really want to, without clicking the table, you want to know exactly what is there in the table. So you can say there is a query called as select. See, create query is for creating the table. Insert query is for inserting the table values. Okay. Similarly, for non-CSE background students, there is a select query which extracts the data from the DB table and extracts the data and displays. Okay. So let us use this select query. How to use select query? Select. Suppose if you want to select everything, to select everything from the data, everything from the DB table. To select everything from the DB table, what you need to is select star from table name. This is how you need to select. Suppose if you want to select only specific columns, to select specific columns, from the DB table, what you need to do is select, suppose column 1, comma column 2 from table name. Then only column 1, column 2 will come from the table. Then to select values based on condition. See, these are the three basic things. To select values based on condition. Then what we need to do is select, for example, star from table name where condition. Like that we need to give. Either you give select star or select column 1, column 2. Or you can also give in this manner. Where condition. So these are the basic select query concepts which are required. Okay, basics. There are so many other ways of writing select queries. Okay, but this is a simple concept in select query. If you are very much interested, because this session is not meant for only DBMS, so I may not be able to explain everything. Okay, so with this short introduction, let me now write, for example, select star from CIET faculty. Now, after writing the query, what you need to do is, there is an option called as go. See here, go, the button, not option. You need to click the button. Then you will get the values on the screen directly, here itself, in the admin panel. Now you can see clearly the values are coming from the query. After I click go, the values are coming from the select query. The values are coming from the select query. Now this is a query which is executed and being displayed on the direct admin panel of the SQL. But I don't want this query to be written in this place. Rather, I want to execute this query in a Python program and get the data in the Python program, not here. But why I am explaining this? To explain you what is a select query, I just want to show you an example here. Now let me ask the students or the participants, is there any doubt? If there is any doubt, please let me know. If there is no doubt, we will proceed further with our program. Okay. So participants are responding that there is no doubt. So let us move ahead and see the next topic, that is how to extract the values from the database table. From the database table. Now, let me keep the comments and explain you. First three statements. See this OS and CSV, because I am writing a single program for all the things. So I am using that OS and CSV exactly in this particular program piece of code. CSV is really not required in this particular piece of code. Okay, so let me remove it. So import PL MySQL. So importing the Python MySQL client. After that, we want to connect. Even if you want to extract it, see whether you want to create a table, insert values in a table, or extract the contents from the table, you need to connect to the database. So this connection, cursor creation is by default. Whether you are going to give some input to the database or getting some output from the database, in both the sides, you need to follow the same pattern. So in line number 3 and line number 4, we are trying to connect to the database. I believe everybody will clearly understand this. The next thing is query is equal to, okay, I forgot to tell one more thing. In select query, let me explain here itself. Select count star from CIET students. Okay, what exactly is this query? Select count star. Let me come and explain here itself. Select count star from CIET students. Count star will count the number of records. Everybody see here, select count star. Count star means number of all the records. Star is basically, it's we use in a regular expression also, no? Suppose if you want to search something, you will give star.csv. All the files which has, it's a wild character. I think everybody knows about this. So let me highlight and explain you the query select count star. Select means it will extract the data. What is count star? Counts the number of records and displays. See here. So I am going to use the same query. And execute and extract some data and display on the screen from the Python program. Okay. Count star counts the total records available in the DB table. Now clearly observe the outcome of the query here is 5,000. That is the outcome of the query. Everybody can really understand about this. The outcome is simply 5,000. That is the outcome. Is it not? Why 5,000? Because I have 5,000 records loaded just now in this particular session itself, right? By using one Python program. Now let me clear the drawings and come here. Everybody please observe. I am going to explain one very important topic in extracting data from a Python program. Okay, so to explain that, it's a very small topic, may not take more than 5 minutes, but if you don't understand this, you will not be able to understand the next part of the program. Okay, we observed that when we executed the query, what is the query? Select count star from CIET students, okay, where from the DB admin panel, DB admin, the outcome is displayed. The outcome is displayed there only as 5,000. What is the proof? I just even showed you. But from the Python program, if we execute the same query, the value or the outcome will not come directly. Listen, the outcome of any query is called as result set. The set of result what we got. What is a result set? Result set is a concept which is taught in DBMS. Maybe CSC students will immediately connect to me. For the benefit of non-CSC students, I will tell you in a simple manner. The outcome 5,000 is the result set of the query. Okay. For the above query, or let me keep it in this way. Let me write it here. Yeah, this makes more sense. The outcome of any query is called as result set in technical terms. In technical or in DB terminology, that's better. In DB terminology, so the result set of the above query is 5,000, which is a single value. 5,000 is a single value. Now, if we change the query as select star from CIET students, then the result set will have 5,000 records, where each record has 7 column values. I hope everybody understood what is 7. The students' data. Students' data. So, result set can be a single value or group of values. Result set can also have more values. So, result set means depending upon the query. Depending on the query, the size of the result set changes. Tell me if you have not understand this part. Sir, what is a result set? Result set is nothing but the outcome of a query. If you execute select count star, the outcome is 5,000. So result set has only one value. But if you select star from CIT students, all the records will come. Then the entire result set is having 5,000 records, where each record will have 7 different values of students' data. Tell me whether you understood this concept or not. Everybody. I believe that you understood this concept. Now, the next part is when you are executing from the DB panel. When we are executing the queries from the DB panel, that means the outcome is visible directly on the MySQL admin. Okay. MySQL admin. When we execute query directly from the MySQL admin. MySQL admin means the browser which we are seeing, the database and all. Okay. Now, but from the Python program, if you execute the query, if you execute the same queries, let me tell you, the outcome will not come directly. Outcome will not come directly. We need to execute another method from one of the following, or yeah, we have to execute another method from one among the two mentioned below. There are two methods. One method is, see here, fetch one fetches a record or fetches the value of the result set. When we need to use, okay, leave it. I will tell you. Next one is, it's very easy to understand also. Fetch word means to extract or to obtain, to get. Fetch all fetches all the values of the result set. Now you guys will know when to use fetch one. When to use fetch one? When you know the result set will obtain one value only, then you can use fetch one. And in case if you have many values, otherwise we can use fetch all. We can use fetch all. Now, why I am explaining this is because I am going to use these methods and show you how the data will be extracted. Now, let us check the program. Let us check the program to make use of fetch, make use of these methods. Make use of these methods. I strongly believe you are able to follow me. Let me check in case if any queries are there in the chat box. I think I could not see anything, so that is good. Now let me go to the program. So when you execute the query, that's what I was telling you. When you execute the query will be executed. Result set also will be there, but you cannot obtain the result set until unless you use the concept as the extracting the records by using fetch all or fetch one. Now let me use fetch all. What is fetch all? Fetch all gets all the values. In count star, there will be only one value. There will be only one value. So initially, let me use fetch one. Let me use fetch one. Don't see the comments which are there in the like green color. Don't see them. I'm going to explain you. So let me keep it in this manner. Okay. So what is fetch one? Fetch one will actually obtain the result set, and I am storing that into total students and I am printing it. So let me ask the participants, shall I execute this particular piece of code? Let me keep this also in a comment so that I will use whenever I need. It's very simple. See, starting is connection, then it is creation, then writing a query. Only additional thing is we need to call the cursor object dot either fetch one or fetch all. Now I am executing fetch one. Okay, let me execute this piece of code. When I am explaining you the tuples concept, I don't know whether you believed it or whether you remember it or not. I told tuples are used in database and Python connectivity. Now you will be able to see a tuple now. I am not writing any tuple here. I am not using any tuple here in the program, but clearly you see the result set is actually coming in a form of a tuple. This is the proof. Fetch1 has given me a tuple. Fetch1 has given me a tuple. How you can say it is a tuple? Because you can clearly see there is a parenthesis, and in general a comma will be there in Python. That's the Python notation. Fetch1 returns a tuple with the outcome of the result set or outcome of the query, that is the result set. Result set will come in a tuple. In a tuple. Then an additional comma is there, which is a Python way of representing a tuple. Like that's the last value. Always the last value will have a comma. Here first value and last value is same, so there is a comma. Tell me if you have any doubt in this. In case if you don't want the tuple, but only the element in the tuple, then we can use indexing. We can use indexing. Let me show you that. Suppose if you want only the, so this one, everybody observe, this will print a tuple with a tuple as 5000 comma, this is the one. In case if you want to extract only the value 5000, then what you need to do? Simple. Call the total students with the index 0. Let me print it here, or let me also execute both. Now prints only 5000 as index 0 has 5000. Index 0 has 5000. Let me execute and show you. I believe everybody understood the concept here. Now, once you get 5000, you are able to display. You can also write it in a file also, no? Writing file you are now well versed with. You can keep this in a variable and open a file and write in a file. Okay, I am anyways going to tell that. Now let us try to see what will happen if I use fetch all. Let me use fetch all. Actually, there is only one value, that is 5000. There is only one value, that is 5000. So fetch1 gave a tuple. What fetch all will give me? What fetch all will give me? For example, here let me print the same total students. Now, let me comment the first 3 lines. That is, see, query is same. Query is same, but what will happen if you do fetch one? What will happen if you do fetch all? Clearly, you can see fetch all gives tuple of tuples. Why? Because fetch all. See, since fetch all is meant for a result set which gives more values. Okay. Python fetch all method returns tuple of tuples. Returns tuple of tuples. What is the tuple of tuple? Everybody see here. This is a tuple. That is 5000 and comma. That 5000 comma is also enclosed in something like this. That means there is a tuple inside a tuple. I hope everybody understood. Now, you may not realize the importance of fetch all in select count star query, because select count star query will give only 5000. Now, you can also use indexing. You can also use indexing here. Okay. Let us check the program. Let us check the program. Okay. Let me give here of 0. Let me give total students of 0. Let me give total students of 0 and try to execute. It has given me initially tuple of tuples. It has given me initially tuple of tuples. After that, because of 0, it has given me the first element of inner tuple. I hope everybody is able to follow me. This is tuple of tuples, but this gives me only a tuple, inside tuple. If you really want only 5000 here, then what to do? It's very simple. You need to give a double dimension. You need to give a double dimension. For example, if I want to extract only the 5000, then see, this is a tuple of tuples. Then this will give inner tuple, first element, inner tuple, then inner tuple, index 0 value. Okay, let me execute and show you. Oh, I didn't save the program. Let me execute again. So either by using fetch one or fetch all, we can extract 5000. Why I am telling fetch all when we are able to get in fetch one? See, sometimes you need to use fetch one. In this select count star, there is no need to use fetch all. But I explained you to make you understand there is a concept called as tuple of tuples. There is a concept called as tuple of tuples. To make you understand what exactly is this tuple of tuples, let me change the query. Instead of count star, I will simply give select star. Instead of giving count star, let me change the query and give select star. I will not give the CIET students because it has 5,000. Let us use another table. I think CIET faculty. Let me use CIET faculty. Let me use CIET faculty. And then we will try to understand the concept of fetch all clearly. Okay. So let me copy this and let me write NPP display all records from DB table dot py. Display all records. If you really want to display all the records, you need to use fetch all. And let me change the program with the table name CIET faculty. CIET faculty. Then our intention is not, not to use fetch one here. So simply I will say all records is equal to, simply print all records. Now you will clearly understand what is tuple of tuples. In 5,000, I just explained you the concept. Okay. Now you will really see, and definitely I think you guys will appreciate what is fetch all and what exactly is fetch one. Py display all records from the table. Oh, I gave count star, no. So I need to use star. Clearly you will see. Let me decrease the font size of the command prompt so that you can clearly see everything in a single screen. Yes. Now everybody please observe, fetch all has given me tuple of tuples. Where are the tuple of tuples? Everybody please observe. The first two square brackets, sorry, parentheses are a tuple. See here, there are a small square bracket here. This is a tuple where each record is a tuple. Each record is a tuple. I strongly believe that you guys are following me. This is the first element, which is a tuple itself. This is another element that is a tuple itself. And third one, which is a tuple itself. If you have any doubt, you please let me know. Now, if you want only the first record to be displayed, if you want only the first record to be displayed, what do you have to do? It's very simple. Okay, let me come. There are some chats. Okay. I hope there is no doubt. Fine. Now, if I want only the first record, so what I will do for each record in all records, print each record. Now you will see that first a tuple of tuples will be displayed and then each record also will be displayed. I hope everybody understood. See, in this manner, I can extract the data. When you are able to extract the data, it is very easy to insert in a file, right? Save these values in a variable, open a file and write it. So let us see that. How to see display, I already told you now. How to display the records. Instead of displaying, I can also write it in a file. I can also write in a file. By opening a file, take this value and dot write method will write in a file. Dot write method will write in a file. I believe everybody is able to understand what I am exactly trying to explain you. So let me come and check the chat box in case if you have any doubt. By mistake, I closed the command prompt. Now, in coming 20 minutes or half an hour maximum, right? Till 6:10, I am going to take the session today because we are starting at 4:10. So with the permission of organizers, I will take the session maximum till 6:10. Now, we will do two more tasks now. One, extract the data, complete data, and write into a CSV file. That is one thing. Or do some analysis and write in a CSV file. Are you able to understand what I am saying? So let us now do some analysis and try to write in a file. For example, let me open the file. Yeah, extract data from DB table. I believe everybody understood the concept here. Okay, so same thing in another way I have explained to another institute, like same concept, 2 times will be there, so don't get confused. So let me keep it as it is. I keeping it in a comment, and then finally now I am trying to open, yeah, the below part of the program, that is analysis. So in order not to have any confusion, let me do one thing. NPP perform analysis from DB table, write in file, write in CSV file .py. I'm just opening another file so that in a single file, if I am writing everything and keeping multiple line comments, there is a high possibility that you may guys get confused. Now everybody, this program, if you see, it is a 70-line program. It is a 70-line program. But the concept is very, very simple. Why the concept is simple when the program length is 70 lines? Stay for only 5 minutes. I am not going to explain this program more than 10 minutes maximum. Okay, so pay attention. This program, okay, let me write it here itself. This program extracts the data from the DB table with some conditions and then create a CSV file and load the data of the analysis of the DB table in the CSV file. That is the main motive of this program. The main motive of the program is to perform some analysis and instead of displaying, write that into a file. Writing into a file, you guys already know it. No need for me to explain. Okay, so let me clear the drawings and show you. We are trying to connect to the database and we are calling the cursor method. After that, we are asking the user to enter a CSV file name. What is the CSV file name? The extraction of the data from the database table, we are going to keep in a CSV file, right? That CSV file name. And obviously, you know, CSV file name, we use a delimiter, comma. We use a delimiter, comma. Now, let me replace everywhere the correct, just give me 1 second. The table name has to be changed as CIET students. And let me replace all. Yeah, fine. Okay. Now, what kind of analysis I want? What analysis we can do? Okay. The analysis is total students and department-wise students. That is the analysis I want to do. That means how many students are there? 5,000. Why 5,000? Because we created. Can you tell me without seeing the CSV file, how many CSE students are there? We don't know. We need to count. So without opening the file, we will perform some analysis and get the outcome and write in a file. So for that, what to do? I need to go and check exactly how many, what departments are available in the the database table. So let me come here. Everybody see here. Select department, not department, I think. Let me just tell, select star from CIET students. I will come to know what exactly is written there. Student underscore department. Student underscore department. So how many values are there? E&I, civil, CSE, I think, yes, same. So what departments are available? CSE, ECE, E&I, EEE, civil mechanical. Okay. So for that, everybody please observe. If you understand these lines, rest all are same with little change. Everybody please observe line number 9 to 12. Line number 9 to 12 are for extracting the total number of students. You know what is total number of students extraction. Okay. This is extracting total students. How to extract total students? Very simple. Select count star from table name. Now, fetch one will give a tuple. If you want only the 5,000 value, then you need to give an index. Now tell me, total students of 0 will have 5,000. That is the, you have to remember, total students will have a tuple 5,000. Total students of 0 will have 5,000. I hope everybody remember. Now, how to extract one specific department? How to extract a specific department? Everybody see the query and it will be very easy to understand. This is the query for extracting only CSE department students. So I wrote an additional clause where student underscore department equal to CSE. That is the only difference between the previous query and this query. A condition is added to extract only CSE department students. Basically, total number of only total number of CSE department students. Now, suppose, example I am telling, suppose CSE students are 700. So, CSE students in line number 17 will give a tuple. CSE students of 0 will give the exact value. Now, copy the same query and paste it multiple times and change the departments. See, that's why the program is big. Now you see, in the next part, everybody, I hope everybody is able to follow me. Now, I am putting ECE students of 0, EEE students of 0, E&I, civil and mechanical. I hope everybody understood. After that, I am not going to explain line number 50 to 70. Why? Because it is exactly the code what we used for creating and inserting the values in a CSV file. Where are the values? Total students of 0 will have total student value. CSE students of 0 will have total CSE students, etc., etc. And I am creating a header. Total students, comma, CSE total, comma, etc., etc. Now tell me if you have any doubt. The program looks big, but it's a simple logic only. Tell me if you have any doubt. Otherwise, I will execute. Okay, only one participant responded. Thank you. I will just wait for a moment. Other participants to respond. Okay, now I am able to get the response from other students as well. So let me close the. Now, everybody see dir star.csv. There are two CSV, right? These are not coming from the database. This is the CSV which we use to load the database. Okay. Now, py perform analysis. Let me say CIET. Please switch on the inverter, please. CIET analysis dot CSV. Now, because of the print statements, it is actually printing me. Total values are 5,000. Clearly see CSE students tuple 848, number of CSE students 848. Okay, so don't see the output here. But what we need to do, we need to open this CIET analysis. Now you see DIR CIET analysis. Just now, now my time is 6:01 on 26th May. It is created just now. Now if I open, you can clearly see not only it is displayed on the screen, I am
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
So now, today what we understood is how to extract the data and display on the screen, what is the result set, and how to extract the data and keep it in a CSV file. Analysis. Can we load the entire database table which we created from a CSV back to a CSV file. That is also possible. The code is exactly same. The code is exactly same. It will not be difficult for you to understand also. For example, one second. Yeah.
Sir, your screen is not shared, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to share the screen, sir. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
I will not take more than 5 minutes now because it's already I have explained you how to create a file from the database. Now this is this file, sorry, this program, okay? Program to read the contents from the DB table, all the contents, read all the contents from the DB table and create a CSV file. Not only doing some analysis, the entire file, this is exactly the inverse operation of what we learned in the beginning of the session today. Okay, now I need to change the name of the workshop, name of the database, that is CAET workshop, and then let me copy and replace all. I think this will do. Now we are connecting to the database, creating the cursor. Then I am trying to get how many records are available. Why we need to see, the program is to load the entire data into the CSV file. Then why should I know how many records are there? Why? Because if you don't know how many records are there, how you will run the loop for loading the data? How you will run the loop for loading the data into a CSV file? For that, I am taking all the records. So all records will be fetch all. If it is fetch all, it will be a tuple of tuple. A tuple of tuples, remember. So if you want only the value, you need to give double dimension, all records of 0. Now, after that, we are asking a CSV file name. Suppose if that CSV file, then we are verifying whether that CSV file exists or not. After the CSV file checking, what we are doing, this is the same code. We have to write the header only when the CSV file is not available. Only when the CSV file is not available. Now, everybody see here, I am starting a loop. I am starting a loop with, for each record in all records. I already explained you with CAET faculty table. It will display the faculty ID one by one. So all records will have, see here, it is select star. Select star means a tuple of 5,000 tuple records will come in the CSV students. So take every record from the all records. That means record by record. In each record, you have 7 columns. In each record, you have 7 columns. So take I equal to 0 for indexing the individual tuple. Okay, if you really want to know what exactly I am explaining, everybody, let me just show you here. When I execute this program, it is giving me, see, this is tuple of tuple, and this is an individual tuple of a record. If you want only 50301, how I am printing this? I already showed you, just a reminder. For each record, All the records are coming. But I want only 50301. I want only Dr. Kiran individually. Then you need to have another loop with the separate index. That index is starting with I equal to 0. Now, one record has 7 columns. What is the guarantee it has only 7? That's why I am checking the length of each record and running the loop for individual. That's all. Rest all you know. I am writing everything. Sometimes numbers will come, sometimes string will come. To generalize it, I am converting everything into a string, writing each record value one by one and keeping comma. Once the record is over, I am keeping a new line. So this is the code. See, don't think I am explaining in a hurry. You already know about this, how to create a file, and I already explained you. This is only a different example, which recreates a CSV from the database table. Let me explain again. Initially, I am fetching the number of records available. Suppose, I am actually getting all the records, select star. All the records have come. After that, I am asking a input from the CSV file name. After that, creating the header first time. After creating the header, take record by record and write into a CSV file. Let me execute the file. Let me execute this program and show you. For example, py extract all contents from DB table. So we will say create CSV file from DB table contents dot CSV. Now immediately it has come out. Immediately it has come out. So let me check whether this is successfully created or not. It is created exactly at 6:11. And if you really want to open the contents, you can see the entire database table has come in a. That's why I changed the header. Simply I put registration number, name, gender. Earlier our actual CSV file will have student underscore name, student underscore to make you differentiate between these two files. I changed the header labeling. Now this is how it is created. I believe that you enjoyed the session of a complete picture of how to exactly work on file management and database management. Now, in case if you have any doubt, I am open for doubt sharing.